What's up, dudes? I'm Brock. I'm 22, and I just got my first full-time job as a junior actuary for a big-time insurance company. I was bouncing with excitement when I got the call from my new boss, Jonathan. I was finally able to get my own place for my girlfriend, Sienna, and I. For the past 2 years, my roommate, Stanton the Slob, has been the bane of my existence. He was officially the worst roommate in the history of the world. But now, I was going to be free from that. Oh, before I forget, go ahead and tap that bell and subscribe to get all the hidden wisdom you can handle. Okay, so Stanton's the kind of guy who would be my favorite character if he were on a sitcom. But he wasn't on a sitcom, and I couldn't turn him off. Stanton had a room for rent, and I was desperate to get a cheap place. My first night, I was jolted awake by a deep, guttural scream coming from Stanton's room. I found him rolling around on his tummy, and I thought his back was spasming or something. But he just said he was imitating whale sounds. He told me to join, or I was gonna kill the vibe. He was messy, forgetful, and there was also an issue with money. He owed me $417.37 from ordering late-night cable movies. I'd ask him over and over and over for it. At first, he'd said he'd cover it next month, but the months came and went, and suddenly he didn't remember. I think the truth is, I grew to resent Stanton after that. And so when I got the job, I had this idea to get him back. I was going to stiff him $417.37 on my last month's rent, and he wouldn't be able to do a thing about it. So my first day on the job was awesome. Jonathan seemed more like a buddy than a boss. He kept calling me his homeboy and telling me I was a ladies' man. It took me forever to convince him that I'm a one-woman kind of guy. When I came home that day, the apartment was filled with my friends and family, a surprise party congratulating me on the job. Sienna was there, and I asked her if the surprise was her idea, but she told me it was Stanton's. I gotta admit, I was a little touched. But then, he wanted everybody to engage in a communal whale song, and I remembered why I was moving. The job was off to a good start. The only weird thing was that every once in a while, Jonathan would tell me we had to get drinks after work, and I was supposed to be his wingman. And then he started to get needy about it. And then he got down on himself. I tried to help. I explained that women are attracted to confidence and all that stuff. But he'd still get mad at me if I didn't go out with him. But he didn't understand that I had a girlfriend, and Sienna might start to worry if I was out at bars after work all the time. Speaking of, I surprised Sienna with the house I wanted to get us one weekend, and she fell in love with it immediately. I put my savings toward a down payment and got a move-in date. Things got even weirder at work. I logged on to my work desktop one morning, and I saw an anonymous email. It was filled with insults and threats. Whoever wrote this was calling me every name they could think of. They accused me of incompetence at work. They said they were going to make sure I got fired. At first, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it was a prank or something. But they kept coming. They would say things like, "I can hear you on the phone, and you sound like an idiot." Whoever it was right around me. There were only 3 other employees within earshot, and they all seemed innocent enough, but I didn't really know any of them. Not really. Doris was in her 60s and didn't seem to have a confrontational bone in her body. But maybe she was really wicked on the inside. Then there was Tyler, who talked to his plant more than anyone else. But what if he was really conspiring with his plant to bully me? Anything was possible. I was starting to get paranoid. I keyed in on Sasha. She was intimidatingly beautiful and seemed like the type to be judgmental. She seemed like that high school girl that tormented all the other girls. Yeah, I was starting to think it was her. I mentioned it to Jonathan, but he didn't act like it was a big deal. Mostly I was trying to get his read on Sasha, but he said he didn't think she'd do that kind of thing. And the emails started getting worse. I hate to admit it, but I was starting to doubt myself. I got more and more nervous about the house, and one afternoon when Sienna was talking about a new marble floor, I kind of broke down. I told her to stop breathing down my neck about money. She asked what was wrong, and I told her about getting cyberbullied. If somebody hated me there already, I must not be doing a good job. She thought I was exaggerating and told me that as long as I didn't rock the boat at work, we'd be fine. Stanton and his mess was there to remind me what my life was going to be like if I had to go back to the restaurant and live off tips again. The next morning, I found flyers posted all around the offices, and they had my face on it, and it was calling me a male bimbo, the work of my cyberbully, no doubt. I let Jonathan know, and he said he would conduct an investigation. I didn't want to rock the boat like Sienna said. But when I told Stanton about it, he said I should rock their faces and called my cyberbully a coward. He was like the only person who really got my back. He said that we would find out who it is and that we would show those punks who they were dealing with. I thought he was just blowing smoke, but after I forwarded him the email, Stanton pointed out that the message came in the middle of the night. That meant we could sneak into the offices and find whoever was there after midnight sending me those emails. When we got there, I showed Stanton around, and the offices were empty. I was about to give up, but then Stanton saw a light on in the back. We followed it, hugging the walls, and there behind a random cubicle was Jonathan. We didn't let him see us, but when he went to the bathroom, Stanton jumped into action. He went onto the computer and looked through Jonathan's drive. Among the proof that he was my cyberbully, Stanton also found a love letter to Sasha. We printed out all the documents, and we got out of there just as we heard Jonathan flushing. I was so upset at Jonathan. How could he smile to my face but curse my name behind my back? I felt awful. I wanted to quit and never come back. But Stanton reminded me that if I quit, the bully wins. He said he had a better idea. The next day, Stanton made about 100 copies of Jonathan's love letter, and we snuck in early to post them up before anybody would be there. I was thrilled with the revenge of it all, and I couldn't wait to see his face. I wanted to thank Stanton for getting my back, so I treated him to breakfast. We were chowing down, and I suddenly realized how much I was going to miss Stanton and what a good friend he was. Suddenly, I couldn't care less about the cable bill, and I decided to let bygones be bygones. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And just then, it struck me. If I left Jonathan's love letters all over the office to be found, it would humiliate him, and that's exactly what he did to me. It might be just, but it wouldn't be right. I would be just as much of a coward as Jonathan. I went through the whole office, getting rid of the poems, and instead of hiding, I marched right up to Jonathan's desk. I told him that if he had anything to say to me, he could say it to my face. And he started acting like he didn't know what I was talking about. But when I showed him the proof, he started up with a bunch of new lies. Always remember, everybody, bullies are cowards. If somebody says anything mean about you, you don't have to accept it, and you don't have to put up with it. Have you ever been tempted to get back at somebody? Tell us about it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories.